All right, good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. How's everyone doing today? Another day in the same range that we've been in for weeks. Morning. All right. Well, Rangers sucked yesterday. that was terrible. The Leafs, what an insane comeback. Yesterday, the most exciting thing for me yesterday was watching hockey. Hamza, thank you, my friend. Nice cup of coffee right there. Appreciate that. I appreciate that, Hamza. How far out do I buy my contracts? I usually like to stay around 0.5, so I like to stay at the money if I'm scalping. So I like to have that 0.5 delta at all times, at least as close as I can get. I usually stay like at the money, and I usually avoid like contracts that are under $1. So if the first at the money contract is like 60, 80 cents, I'll maybe sometimes go in the money just to avoid those lighter contracts. I think avoiding the contracts that are less than $1 is just sort of a psychological thing in my eyes. I don't know, just something. But that's what I do. Yeah, market is creeping down a little bit, Code Red. I agree. I just don't know, if that's a legitimate, you know, it's just like, I feel like at any moment it could just bounce right back higher. It's like, it's been creeping down, but it's still holding demand. So it's interesting. We'll look at that today. Dímelo. All right. Well, so good morning, guys. Welcome back again. Let's go over the levels. Let's go over some stocks. Today we do have Microsoft and Google earnings, so we have to be a little bit cautious of, trusting these technicals. After hours today, obviously things can be invalidated, but I still think there's some decent trade setups out there today. We can try to take some short-term trades. Yesterday, I had a losing day. I think I had the right idea on both trades that I took. We can go over them quickly. I'll do a quick review on those trades. Maybe I'll make a video about it tonight. Just a losing day. Kept it light. $400-ish. I think it was like $450 around there. Had decent ideas on the individual stocks that I traded. I liked the setups that I took. I had confidence in them, and that's really all you could ask for, right? If you have confidence in something, you got to take it, right? If you like it, if it lines up, you got to take it. If you lose on it, so be it. The problem that I had yesterday, which I think I'm going to talk about in a video tonight, I think it's a good topic, is after I took those 2 losses yesterday, I lost confidence. And this is something that's, sometimes not good. I guess, it's good in the sense to listen to yourself. It's not good if you don't listen to yourself, right? So after those first trades, I took 2 losses back to back, and I lost a lot of confidence in my ability to trade that day, right? I lost confidence in what I was looking at. I lost confidence in just my trading yesterday, and I kept my hands off. I didn't try to make back the wins. I knew I wasn't trading I wasn't trading at my top tier level, and I had to listen to myself. So, I'm happy I did that because I know I can make back this loss today very easily if I get one nice trade. It's that loss of confidence, right? It's that loss of confidence. So yeah, it is what it is, right? It's gonna happen, right? It's trading. It's what happens. It's human nature. So I think it's better to step away when you lose confidence rather than trying to trade through it. Because that will just cause you to lose more money and make your red day worse and worse. And then you have people like Paulie. Yeah, you did. I jumped in and I reversed and made it back. All right, nice, man. I'm just here to share my experience. You don't need to. Add on top about how you did better. Yeah, you can ask a question here. And then another thing yesterday, right? Another learning lesson from yesterday is, right, you can call things out, really nicely, which we did on the live stream here yesterday, right? You can call things out. We called out that bull trap like it wasn't even a trap, right? We knew it was there. But to execute on it is a different story, right? You can call it out. I could be here on the live stream. I could, sort of explain what could happen, and my call out could be great, but for me to execute on it, that's the next step. And my execution yesterday just wasn't at its top tier. So one of those days, it's going to happen, right? It's the reality of trading. And it's the reality of trading. So let's get started. Let's do it. All right. So today is April 25th, Tuesday. Futures, economic earnings calendar. On the economic side, we have not much. Not much. So yesterday, nothing. Today, home price index, 9 a.m., and then new home sales, 10 a.m., and then consumer confidence, 10 a.m. So we'll see if there's any movement off that today, 9 and 10 a.m. Watch out for home price index. Watch out for new home sales. And then watch out for consumer confidence at 10 a.m. Wednesday, that's tomorrow. Durable goods orders, advanced retail inventories, advanced wholesale inventories. I don't think anything crazy, right? I don't think anything crazy there. I think the big one's probably going to be GDP on Thursday, and then jobless claims on Thursday as well. That's probably your bigger event there on the economic side. And then on Friday, decent stuff as well. PCE, right? That's pretty important as well. Employment cost index, personal income, personal spending. So I think the economic heats up sort of Thursday, Friday. I'm really not thinking that, this Tuesday, Wednesday news makes much of a move on the market. Maybe some short-term volatility, but nothing, drastic to either direction. GDP probably has an effect, and then maybe some of this PCE and personal income, personal spending. All right? But what I really believe will move this market, hopefully, out of this range, or at least, I want to put it out in there, into the world, into existence, and hopefully what me thinking this will help it do it, is earnings. I hope that we get a little bit of movement on earnings. That's really what I think we all want, right? So today we had Verizon, UPS, GM, 3M, GM, and 3M, and Pepsi and Spotify, Raytheon as well. So McDonald's did well. I saw Pepsi did well. Spotify did well. UPS down and bringing FedEx lower. I think Verizon's slightly lower. Raytheon, I believe, is pretty much flat. It looks like the big winners this morning were McDonald's and Pepsi. Also, Spotify moved up pretty nicely. So McDonald's, Pepsi, and Spotify all moving higher off of earnings this morning. After hours today, this is the big stuff. NASDAQ's coming down a little bit. This is the big stuff right here after hours today. Microsoft and Alphabet. Those are the big two that's going to really kick off the tech earnings today. So this could definitely be a little market moving for sure, right? This will move the NASDAQ after hours today. Enphase, Visa, Chipotle going over. We have Boeing. We have Meta. That's another big one for NASDAQ. Roku. Keep going over. American Airlines, CAT, Lilly, Valero, Southwest, MasterCard, Altria, AbbVie, Merck. So this is a big Dow day here, or at least a big safety name here. You got energy, you got the Dow names, CAT, you got MasterCard, you got the payment processors. So you got healthcare down here. So you have some big names here, and then after hours Thursday, Amazon again, big one. So. Yeah, big earnings approaching. Hopefully all this action here, over the next 3 days gets us a little bit of a range break. That is the hope, but we shall see what happens. All right, so Tesla, Robert, thanks for joining the channel. Appreciate that, Robert. Robert, I saw your message up there. I'm not sure. I don't know if you reached out to me via email. I looked at all the emails, so I'm not sure I saw it. Just maybe shoot me a DM on Instagram if you have that, or try to email me again. Go through the website. If you go to the website and then you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it says contact me. That's the best place to get in contact with me. All right. So Tesla 163, big break yesterday, and it retested late day and rejected. So 163 is definitely a watch today. NVIDIA double bottom, something I'm watching here. NVIDIA's been holding up in this channel. Microsoft broke 281. Now, the problem with Microsoft is we have earnings after hours. So I'm going to have to see how these contracts look today. If the IV is really high, I'll probably stay away from it. But this 281 retest for today only today, nothing after hours, just a little scalp today, looks interesting. TSM, really interesting pullback on TSM. Big retest level that it's coming back down to, something to watch. Amazon 105, this might be my favorite setup today. AMD 88, and then finally XLF. XLF is retesting and rejecting a key level this morning. So something to watch here on the XLF. All right? Let's do it. Let's get started. Welcome back, guys. Thanks for being here. If you could, press the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're here every single day at 8 a.m. Here we go. So here's your beautiful chart. Here's your beautiful, beautiful NASDAQ chart. What a disaster, really. I mean, at the end of the day, it's an absolute disaster. Demand continues to hold down here around 12,980, 13,000, right? You can clearly see that. Demand, all this demand here, demand, and yesterday, once again, we hold it, right? Yesterday, we hold it. Pre-market, we're holding it again. So the demand down below is still valid, right? It is still holding up. And we can't short into it, right? The market has shown us that we cannot short into this. Sure, right? There might be a day that this breaks, That day, we'll have to see if there's aggression. We'll have to see how the price action looks. We'll have to see if we can catch a little piece. But, shorting into this green zone here is going to be fishy, right? It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be like it's going to be like playing through, sea of sharks down here. So a little bit dangerous down between, 12,980, 12,930. I would say until these lows are broken, things just sort of hold on. Until these lows right here are broken, it's sort of just a demand hold, a really slow downside move right now into demand. I feel like, in my eyes, right, this is why I know the market can do these things. At any day, this could do this. All right, any day we could see this pop, right? We could see maybe this pop. It's very possible. And that is why I'm not going to just go short here. Yes, it is downtrending, right? You can see the downtrend that the NASDAQ has been on, but that doesn't mean we're going to short at demand, right? Just because the market's downtrending doesn't mean I'm going to start shorting at demand, because I know could be a day that this just pops, right? Very possible. So I'm going to be, cautious of that. I'm going to protect my portfolio because I know demand is here. So we need to be careful of that. We can see it held yesterday, and it held here in the pre-market again. Now, on the upside, you can see that we are creating sort of a lower high, which is interesting, right? You can see these previous highs were around 13.2, which was up here, and now the highs are around this 13.1. So you can see we had the pushes to the upside were up into 13.2. Now the pushes to the upside are starting to fail around 13.1. So we are starting to create a lower high here on the NASDAQ, but we are still holding demand. So we really can't, you can take away a little bit from that, right? You can say, yeah, it's getting weaker potentially, but that still doesn't mean you short into demand, right? That's not what that means. Just because we're making this lower high, just because we're getting a little bit weaker here and these rejections are coming in at these previous lows, I would not say that gives you the confirmation to short into this demand. What it does give you is probably the confirmation to short at 13.1 now, right? So 13.1 is really that supply level that's stepping in now on the NASDAQ. You can see yesterday we did the exact same damn thing. I mean, the exact thing as Friday, right? Push into 13.1, major rejection, right? 13.1, major rejection. And you guys can see right here, right? In the morning, we had a little bit of a pop through. We pulled back. We did not hold. We retested it right here. You can see a break and retest of 13.1. And then after that break and retest of 13.1 right here, bam, right? Straight to the downside. If you caught this move yesterday, congratulations. This was probably the best move of the day. That was a break and retest of 13,100 yesterday, intraday. So if we go to the 2-minute chart, you guys can see it right here. Here's the 2-minute chart yesterday. This was a really, really nice setup here, and I missed it. And it is a little upsetting that I did, but this is a fantastic, right? This is a fantastic bear flag into 13,100 supply, right? Look at that. That was really nice. So if you guys caught this one, really well done, right? That was the best trade of the day by far, if you caught this little bear flag into supply. So that was sick. Congrats on that. Now that move, right, took us to demand, and demand held once again, right? Aggressive move down into demand, demand held once again. Now here we are today, right? We're back down at demand. So your risk reward technically, right, in this scenario, if you just focus on the channel, your risk reward today as you approach the open is to the upside, right? I know some people may not like that, but that is technically where your risk reward stands right now, right? Your risk to reward is on the upside right now. So I think a lot of traders will sort of realize that, right? You have previous day lows. This is your risk, right? Maybe you put it lower. Maybe you put it down into the 12,970s. And your reward is maybe that push back into 13.1, right? So that's how we stand this morning. If you're trying to short, 20, 30 points back into demand, it's probably not your best opportunities, right? You could get stuck in this little dance down here. So watch out down here, right? We're clearly at demand. We're holding it this morning. Risk reward is to the upside. That doesn't mean we just go straight up. That's not what that means. But technically, risk reward is to the upside this morning. We'll have to see if it plays out again. It's played out previously. We'll see if it plays out again. So really, it's the same levels as yesterday, 12,980 to 13,000, and then 13.1 supply. That's really what I'd be watching pretty much all day until one of these sides breaks. That's all you're going to watch here on the NASDAQ. So keep an eye on those levels. We can go over to the ES. The ES is pretty much the same exact thing, 4160 to 4135, 4140, right? It's about a 5-point range of demand down here. If we go to the 30-minute chart, you guys can see, once again, it's the same exact thing. You can see the 4160 rejections, 4160 rejections, and then yesterday, we opened right at 4160. I mean, this was the perfect morning bull trap into 4160. This is like identical to what we said yesterday, actually, which is a little upsetting, right? Because I didn't catch it. So it always hurts a little bit. You know, we said we opened around, I think, 4150. I think we said verbatim, word for word, the market's going to push into 4160, bull trap, and then have a huge rejection, and it's literally exactly what happened. So really nice 4160 bounce, major rejection there, and just a crazy downside rejection. So really nice trade there. If you guys caught anything on the SPY, on the SPX, anything on the downside there. And you'll also see that this was a perfect 413 rejection on the SPY. I'm about to show you that as well. So supply to demand, demand to supply, supply to demand, and does it do it again, right? Demand to supply, supply to demand, demand to supply. That's exactly what's been going on for the last 2 weeks. So watch your demand today, right? I would not short into 4140, 4135. That is very clear. There's no reason to. If it happens, you missed the trade, right? Who cares? Look for the retest rejection to get confirmation, right? There's no reason to be shorting into this hold here from the pre-market. If we get an upside push today, right, look for that move towards the supply and then see if you can set up that short once again. So same exact thing again, guys, right? Supply and demand, respect the levels, right? If you continue to look for breakouts and breakdowns in this market, you are going to lose money until that changes, right? You can't trade the breakdown. You can't trade the breakout. You got to trade within this range. That's what the market has showed us for the last 2 weeks. Until that is broken, you have to keep an eye on those levels, right? Until that is broken, you have to keep an eye on those levels, right? So 4160, 4140, about a 20-point range on the ES. Keep an eye on that zone. If we go to the SPY, right, it's about 410 to 413. So if we go to the 30-minute, or let's go 15-minute, here's your SPY. 413 is that extreme high, and then that 412.50 is that sort of, it's definitely a rejection. I would actually do this, right? This is actually what I would do. I would put the zone between 412.50 and 413, and I would be very cautious in this entire 50-cent range on the SPY. So 412.50 to 413 is all a possible rejection there on the SPY, and then that demand continues to step up at 412. So that's really what I'd watch on the SPY. Watch the 410, watch the 412.50, right? Same exact thing we did on Friday, right? And it's the same exact sort of zone we traded in yesterday. So 410 demand, 412.50, 413 supply. Look to set up your demand holds down here. Look to set up your shorts up here, right? If it works against you, right, if it does break out of either side, you take your loss and then you look for that continuation. But until this channel breaks, it's got to be the thing you respect. It's been doing it for a very long time. So 413, 412, 410, all right? QQQ, it's around 314 to 317, about a 3-point range, right? You can see the demand down here at 314. You can see the supply up here around 317. So same exact concepts. 314, 317, trade within the range. That's what's happened on Friday. That's what happened yesterday. That's what could happen again today. Right? And make sure you know, like when I point out these levels, obviously I'm still looking for break and retest of either side, right? If we retest and reject 314, I'm looking for downside. If we break and retest above 317, I'm looking for upside, right? That's still a viable option. I'm not saying that's not possible, but you know, you can't be hoping and praying for this move. If it happens, you take it. But I would not, right, how I would look at this, I would not take a trade in this zone looking for that move. I would only take that breakout trade, right here. This is where I'd take that breakout trade. I would not be taking the breakout trade here hoping for the breakout because I know this is what's possible. So I would only take that breakout trade on the outside of the channel, on a break and retest of the outside of the channel. So above 317 or below 314 is where I'd look for that trade. All right. Dow Jones, yep, pretty much the same thing, right? I'm going to breeze right through these futures because it's the same exact damn thing for the last how many days? 34,000 to 33,800. Triple top, multiple bottoms, and the Dow looks like it's going to do the same thing again today. So 34,000 supply, 33,800 demand. Yeah. Until we get this, or until we get this, right? You are trading the supply and you are trading the demand. That's all you have to do, right? Not easy. Not saying it's easy, because when you get up at these levels, it can be a little tough to read, right? Some people will have some struggle reading it. For example, right? This is really nasty. This is a great example of a trap that they'll do, right? This is something you will see very often. So you can see, right? Let's zoom in here on the Dow. If someone was trading Dow futures yesterday, we'll zoom in here on the Dow, and you can see, yeah, we got, maybe people were setting up shorts here, right? Setting up some shorts, shorting Dow futures here. Maybe they shorted again here at this high, and they sort of squeeze it above the 34,000. And then a lot of people, right, they get stopped out here. And I wouldn't say, that's just a classic little trap. That's what happens on this market. That's why this is not as easy as like, oh, shorted supply, longet demand. There's still some skill involved of reading the price action, and there's still a lot of traps that you have to be cautious of. So you have that rejection. Maybe you are setting up shorts here, and then they squeeze it back above 34,000, stopping out a lot of people. Liquidity grab right there, and then the trade goes in your favor, right? It's going to happen, right? So it's not as easy as, take the market shorted supply. There's still some difficulty of it. But I think the best way to combat that is to really wait for, some aggressive downside to come in. Really wait for the market to show something like this, show some weakness. Don't really start shorting into an upside move. I would say, watch the upside move. Wait to see something aggressive of this nature, right? Even if you waited to start shorting here, you still had, your move in your favor. So I would say, if you're moving into a supply or you're moving into a demand, don't have to be the first one to take it, right? Don't just take it right away. So, we're at 34,000, I'm short. Wait to read the price action a little bit. See if there's some breakdown. See if there's some flag breaks. See if there's some really aggressive downside candles with volume, right? Wait for something to give you that confirmation. I know your emotions, and I know even including me, right? I'm susceptible to this as well. I know you want to start entering shorts as you approach that level, but you sometimes are best to wait for some confirmation. Just be a little bit more patient. Don't feel like you're going to miss out on that rejection play. There was plenty of opportunities here, even after you got this aggressive selling, right, off that level. So it's not going to be that easy, right? I know I say, watch supply, watch demand. There's always going to be some little traps at these levels. So just be cautious down there. That's a really nice little bottoming wick formation on the Dow this morning. Look at those hourly wicks. All right. So that's the futures. I guess we could go to the Russell real quick. Oh, what's the Russell doing? Oh, shit. What happened to the Russell? Huh. Anyone know what happened here? Did a small cap report earnings or something? Or are we just... I don't know. I don't know why the Russell did this. Anyone have any ideas here? Russell, big downside. Very much underperformance here on the small caps this morning. Support. Big flush below. It's trying to work its way back. So I would say watch for the retest rejection, really. Right? Watch for this to retest and reject. I'm just not sure if there's a fundamental or a reason here for the small caps. There must be something going on. So yeah, I would watch the support. I would watch the retest and the rejection, right, at around 1790. Is it the regional banks? Yeah, probably the regional banks, right? FRC. Did FRC beat expectations? I think it was $4. It's like right at the expected move. The expected move on FRC was 25% on earnings. That's crazy. All right, so that's the futures. We'll go over. We went over SPY, right? Yeah, we went over SPY QQQ. We'll relook at these towards the end, but let's start getting into some of our stocks. So the first one we're going to look at today is Tesla. So Tesla did something very key yesterday. Tesla broke below the 163 level, and this is a big break, right? This is a big break. 163 is this 4-hour demand that was there, right? 163, 163. This was a big 4-hour double bottom. Now yesterday, look what Tesla did at 163, right? We flushed right under it. Very aggressive downside move under 163. And look at this retest yesterday, right? Look at that. We grinded higher, right back into 163. And look at how that turned into a rejection. So that is very interesting on Tesla, right? The fact that Tesla just retested and rejected that 4-hour low at 163 is definitely something to pay attention to. If we move higher into 163 today, I would look for that rejection again, right? I think that's very possible. That could be another retest rejection. If we move under the lows of yesterday, 159, this could be a really aggressive retest rejection for downside at 159. And then if we do move above 163, right, you could look for that 166, right up here. So some really clean levels on Tesla. I am sort of excited to watch this one today. I think there's some pretty clean levels to play off of. 159 double bottom demand. If there's a break and hold below, right, you could look for the downside. If there's a big pop into 163, I'll look for that rejection there. If we get higher, right, I'll look for the rejection up around 166. So interesting. I really like these levels today. 163, 4-hour double bottom, 166, obvious supply up here, and then that 159 demand. Keep an eye on these levels. I think these could definitely, set up some plays today on Tesla. All right. NVIDIA. So NVIDIA has not given up. It's still holding up. Here's the hourly chart. Actually, you know what? Let's go 30-minute. 30-minute NVIDIA. You guys can see previous highs back here around this 267, 268 zone, right? Previous highs that rejected, came back down to 262. Now we had a big breakout, and we have come back down into this previous high, right? These previous highs are turning into a demand now, right? So that is your current demand that is holding on NVIDIA around 267. That's like the extreme low, around 267. That's a low of Friday and a low of yesterday. Today, we're just sort of trading in that channel. So for me, I'm really waiting on NVIDIA to do something like this, or I'm waiting for NVIDIA to do something like this, right? That's really what I'm waiting for to get out of this either 272 or 267. Now, yesterday, I tried to trade a 272 retest, and it did not work, right? That was a retest trade that did not work. And I will show you where that is, where I started to enter this position. So yesterday, I was looking at NVIDIA. I said, okay, this thing's above 272. Let me look for this to retest, right? Above 272. Let me see if it can retest and it can hold for another push to the upside. That is not what happened, right? So we started to move lower. I started entering some calls around this area here, right? Understanding that if 272 held, right, we could get that retest hold. I think maybe I was in a little bit premature. Not much of a sign of strength, right? I didn't really wait for a sign of strength at this point. And, you can see not many green candles, not many strong holds. So I think maybe just a little bit premature. Maybe it was my confidence in that level that made me, led me to take that trade. So, yeah, got stopped out as we broke here on this candle, stopped out of this trade, was looking for that retest and rejection of 272. Now, this is something that, this is what happened to me yesterday, right? And I'll be fully transparent. I should have been able to look at this again and taken this retest rejection to the downside, right? I should have been able to relook at this, clear my head, and relook at this retest rejection bear flag to the downside, because this was the sexy play, right? This break and retest of 272 to the downside, that was the sexy play. And I was not able to, or I did not have the confidence to re-enter NVIDIA after losing on it. Yeah, that's just the reality of trading, right? I'm sure you guys have felt that before. I'm sure you guys have, experienced that type of trade before, right? Where you sort of lose confidence and then you don't re-enter the trade that you like. We were talking about this one on the live stream, right? We were saying watch the 272 retest rejection in the Discord. And, I can call it out all I want, but you need that confidence to take the entry. So happened to me yesterday, right? I'm not afraid to share it. If you want to, add fuel to the fire, and bring me down further, that's all right. But I like to share these experiences because I think they will help you. And I think that it's real life, right? So I took a loss here. I was not able to get back in here due to just a lack of confidence. And I missed out on this move, which was absolutely amazing. So nice job, guys. If you caught this one, that was really nice yesterday. So again, today, what are we watching, right? 272, same level, 272. So if we get a push higher today, watch that 272, right? That could be another nice short on NVIDIA to watch for, right? So let's see, 267, 272, that was my trade yesterday. Hey, man, it's going to happen, right? That's if we can't battle through that adversity as a trader, right? We're not set out to be traders, right? That's the exact type of day that we have to be able to battle through and keep our head and keep our our focus and our belief and our confidence through. That type of day that I had yesterday, right? If we lose our head over something like that, we are not set out to be, or we're not ready to really be a trader. So those are the type of days we got to battle through. So Microsoft, right? Nice. This looks pretty interesting, right? This looks pretty interesting. 281. So this is a big level on Microsoft, 281. I don't know if I like this into earnings. I'm a little concerned about this. But if there is something here, then, let's see if there's a short-term scalp. 281 is a previous major high here, and it is a previous major support here. I mean, this is a serious level here on Microsoft. 281. Multiple rejections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rejections at 281, and then demand. Now, today, look at what we're doing as we speak in the pre-market. We are perfectly retesting and rejecting 281. If we stay under 281, my assumption is that Microsoft stays weak today, maybe even gives us some juice here before earnings, right? So, we'll see. We'll see if there is a little retest rejection here on Microsoft today at 281. I would be cautious of the lows, right? So be careful. Maybe take some profits into these lows of 278 if you do get a 281 rejection. If you do get back above 281, you're probably just going to mess around here all day before earnings. I would probably stay away from it. If you do get something nice off 281 today, this could be a nice little scalp. This is a previous major level that we are rejecting now this morning. So 281, definitely a level to watch today on Microsoft. TSM, this is sort of, I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure what this is yet, but this is definitely intriguing. So this is the 4-hour on TSM. And we had some major previous highs here on TSM around this 83, 84 level, right? You had all these rejections back in November to December of last year, right? Around 83. Multiple rejections. We broke above it. Right? We broke above it. We never retested it. We broke above it, but we never retested it. Now today, right, you are retesting that level. So, does demand step up here, right? If the market starts to heat up, if there is upside through tech earnings, right, it's a possibility. I'm not sure it's going to happen, but if it does happen, if there is upside through tech earnings, does TSM start to build demand at this level, right? And does it turn these previous highs into support here? This is something I'm watching. It's not ready yet. It's definitely not ready yet. It just came down into that level this morning in the pre-market. So I would not start, buying calls yet. I think you have plenty of time to monitor this, see if that demand starts to really step up, sort of stay away from the sideways chop. And then once you get something of an upside move, This could be a nice little break and retest on a large term time frame. Right, this is a 4-hour chart, so could be nice on the larger term time frame. Could also be a break and retest on the weekly, to be quite honest. Here's the weekly, right? Look at the weekly chart. This could be a break and retest on the weekly chart. You have a weekly rejection that we broke, and we are now retesting, right? This could be a weekly break and retest. So pretty interesting. Something I will be watching. Not sure it's going to work out, but, that's part of the game, right? We have to sort of monitor these setups. So going to monitor this one at 83 on TSM. Interesting. Amazon. This is probably my favorite setup today. We'll see if it works out. We'll see if it wants to give us some strength. Obviously, the NASDAQ's going to have to be strong as well for this to work. But I am interested to see, does Amazon hold this 105 today? You have previous highs here. You have previous highs here. You have a previous demand. This is the trade I took that made, this made $4,000 on Friday. Really nice upside move last Friday. We got a big aggressive downside move back into 105 and held it. And this morning, we are still holding above 105. So I will be watching to see if Amazon maintains this 105 today. Is there maybe a push into this 106.50? And if there is, right, does it reject there? Maybe I'll take a profit taker up at 106.50. Or do we get a break and hold above 106.50 for another move towards that 108, right? This is sort of the idea I'm watching here. Do we hold this 105? If we do, is there a demand push into 106.50, which is probably your profit target 1? And then if there's a move above 106.50 and it holds above that, there could be more upside here. So watching that, that's an interesting little setup there. If Amazon breaks under 105, right? If it breaks under 105, then you probably look for the downside. Yeah, earnings are approaching, so these are just short-term ideas, right? Today, next day, right? This is not swing trade ideas. If there is any type of price action here off 105, I'd look for that demand hold. If we do break under 105, right? Equal opportunities, maybe back down into these lows here, into like this 103 area. So watching this 105. Either way, I'm watching either side of this 105. I think it's a very key level, and I would see how it trades off of it. All right. AMD. So took my loss on the swing trade yesterday. I was looking for AMD to maintain this 88, 89 area. I was starting to see sort of a demand hold step in, but unfortunately yesterday it finally gave in, right? We gave up yesterday, had to stop out of this trade. I liked it, right? Risk reward was there. I liked that demand that was starting to step in over a week time period. So I was starting to sort of formulate a long entry off 88, looking for that upside move. Didn't happen. A little bit of breakdown, and it broke below these previous highs right here. Broke below these previous highs. Could it still work? I think so, yes, right? I think it could definitely still set up if we have bullishness through earnings on the tech sector. I think that is still a very possible, flag that ends up breaking higher. I don't think this trade's like gone forever, but I had to stop out, right? I had a trade plan. It broke under it, and I had to stop out, right? So it is what it is. I'll continue to watch it. I still think there is possibility of this flag to break. I was just maybe a little bit early to it. I will still continue to monitor, but it will need to probably show me a lot more before I re-enter next time, right? I'll really need to see some strong action start to set up before I'll enter it again. Something similar to this, like a little bit of a trend break, some more bullish action. Maybe I was a tad bit early to that one. So AMD under 88, that's pretty important. I would maybe look to see if AMD turns 88 into rejections. I would maybe even, I would watch 88. I would probably give it, I think the better short might even be closer to 89. So watch 88, watch 89. Keep an eye on that zone on AMD. 86 is your demand. It might just sort of trade in this channel now, AMD, between 86 and 88. If I go back to the 4-hour chart, you can see if we zoom in on this chart, we delete this and we delete this. You can see we have some previous highs here. You can see right here. We have some previous highs right there. We have a previous high here. We have a demand hold here. And we have some previous highs in this general area. So I think this 86 could be, definitely a little bit more of an interesting level to watch. So watch this previous high, previous high, previous high, and then previous demand right here at 86. Keep an eye on that level below. Be careful shorting into that 86. All right. XLF. This is interesting on XLF. This could set up something. If we go to the daily chart, look at this, right? This is a nice little retest rejection setting up. Not sure it's following through yet. Still a little bit early, but this is starting to show, right? Previous lows, right? You can see a break. You can see a retest of that the 33 level. So this is sort of something I'm going to monitor on the financials. Break and retest of this 33 level. We're starting to reject this 33 previous double bottom. If the XLF rejects here, right? If the XLF rejects here, this could be a nice little downside move. This could be a little break and retest to the downside off this previous double bottom. So watching that 33, maybe it gets hurt a little bit. I think it is down this morning. I know GS is down this morning. I know JPM is down this morning. These have been strong, though. JPM and GS, they have been pretty damn strong. So not sure if I'm like in love with this yet. I'm not sure whether this is really setting up yet, but it has been something that we've been monitoring here on the live stream. So I wanted to update you guys on this one. It's definitely showing signs, right? It's definitely showing some signs. The other thing that looks just like this, and I know I talked about this one yesterday, which I'm going to continue to talk about because, hey, why not? It's something I would really watch. This Bitcoin chart looks bearish to me. I know maybe some of you guys aren't very interested, but this is, again, a retest rejection of a previous double bottom on Bitcoin. And this is the weekly chart. This looks bearish on Bitcoin. And this also caused, Coinbase got crushed yesterday. And I think MicroStrategy moved a little lower yesterday as well. So yeah, MicroStrategy moved lower yesterday as well. So this is interesting on Bitcoin. I don't know. We'll see. I would like to watch Coin or MicroStrategy to see if I could trade it off this idea. If I go out, let's go to the last few years. You guys can see it, right? This is just the reason I'm interested in this because it's my technical setup. This is what I like to look for. This is pretty much textbook retest of a previous low, right? And a rejection of it. You can see that this 30,000 area has been very influential. So is there any kind of downside off this? Could be interesting if you guys do trade Bitcoin or if you want to watch some of these Bitcoin-related stocks. All right. Let's go over Netflix. I know margin call. I know you wanted to look at that one. We'll go over Netflix. Netflix is just sort of stuck. I really don't like anything on Netflix. I especially don't like what I saw yesterday, right? This doesn't give me any type of confidence on Netflix. The fact that Netflix sort of squeezed through this and then just fell right back under, it's going to be hard to catch this rejection, right? Because if you tried to catch this rejection yesterday on Netflix, you got squeezed the hell out of this play. So I'm not very confident in shorting this 331 now because I don't know if I'm going to get squeezed out of it, right? I don't want to get squeezed out of a short here. That would really be sort of a demoralizing short because, you have the right idea. It comes back down into you. You stop out of the trade and it does exactly what you wanted, right? And Netflix is that is very common on Netflix, right? Netflix is a nasty trade. Netflix is one of the most disgusting stocks to trade, right? Netflix does some crazy, crazy things. Some crazy intraday moves, some huge candles, like $4 or $5 candles out of nowhere. It's not a very easy stock to trade, so this would be the last stock I would recommend to a new trader. If you are trading Netflix as a new trader, you are going to get next. So rejection, right? And it got squeezed. You got squeezed out of this one. I don't have any confidence on Netflix here. You could watch this 331, right? You've seen rejections here at 331. But, be cautious there, man. Be cautious. I don't really know if I like it. I would maybe be a little bit more comfortable. Maybe I'd be a little bit more comfortable up at this 337 for rejections. But yeah, you could watch that 331, but please be cautious. Please be cautious. Netflix can do some stuff. End phase. I mean, end phase is just sitting at that 220, man. It's actually a decent looking retest, to be honest. Huh. Yeah. That looks like a little, to me, that looks like a little flag retest here of 220. That could be bullish. You know, if end phase can start to break out over this 220, that's pretty nice looking. You got to see it hold that 220. Not bad. Costco. Yeah, Costco's been pretty strong after this break of 495. So pretty nice, but now look where we're at, right? Look where Costco's at. Costco is sitting right at this 510, right? This is a big level. So watch 510 on Cost. If Cost can turn 510 into support, you could sort of push for that next high. Watch 510, all right? 510 to 495. All right, guys, let's take a quick look at the futures one more time before we head out, and then we're going to start the day. So NASDAQ just sitting above demand, 12,980. Don't short into that demand. Be careful there. ES just sitting above demand as well, 4140, 4135. QQQ sitting right above that 314 demand, and the SPY is sitting right above that 410 demand. So same channels we've talked about. Respect the demand, respect the supply. Yeah, if you want to see the levels again, we did it in the beginning of this live stream, so you can go back. Or what you can do is you can scan that QR code with your telephone, your smartphone, and you can join. Unless if you're in the Discord, the main Discord, you'll get it there as well. But if you don't want to join the main Discord, you can join here to the chart Discord, which is pretty much this is a if there was a paralegal. Is that what? No, that's not the right word. What's the word for the person that types out everything that a judge says? Right? There's some. That's a profession, right? Something like that. Am I crazy? It's pretty much just a transcript of what we talk about here on the live streams every single day. So here's your futures analysis, right? This is the transcript of what we've talked about here, and then the technicals. This is pretty much every stock we looked at today on the live stream, and then the SPY and QQQ. So if you want to get these levels that we talk about in the live stream every single morning, you can either join the live trading Discord below, or you can, if you're looking for a little bit of a cheaper option, you can screenshot that, or you can QR code that and join that chart Discord. It's also down in the description below. It says Get Technicals. Stenographer. That is the stenographer. All right, guys. If you could, press the like button. If you could get us to 1,000 likes. Not sure it's going to happen now. Looks like we're running a little weak. Looks like we're running a little slow on the likes today. But if you guys feel like pressing the like button, that would be greatly appreciated. Get us to 1,000 likes on this live stream. If you guys could subscribe to the channel if you're new here, or if you watch the channel and you don't subscribe for whatever reason, if you could think about that, reconsider today, press the like button. That would be great. Yeah, that's all I got. So have a great day. Be safe out there. Supply demand. Watch out for the earnings today after hours. Be careful of them, and have a fantastic day. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.